There is a silent paramedic living in the cracks of your driveway that you have been trained to kill. You are currently spending your hard-earned money on chemical sprays to destroy a plant that can save your life. You look at your manicured lawn and you see a broad, green leaf as an intruder that must be poisoned. But while you are spraying glyphosate on this weed, you are destroying the most powerful first aid kit in nature. This is the plant that grows where nothing else will, thriving in the footsteps of the very people who try to kill it. It is a biological bandage that can stop bleeding in seconds, draw the venom out of a bee sting, and close a wound overnight. It is the only thing you need when you are injured in the wild, yet we treat it like a disease. We call it the broadleaf plantain, but to the indigenous people of North America, it was the footprint of the invasion. They called it white man's footstep because everywhere the settlers walked, this plant sprang up from the crushed earth. It followed the wagons, it followed the armies, and it followed the colonization of a continent. But while it was a symbol of change, it was also a gift of healing that the earth offered to the wounded. The archive opens in the bloody sandals of the Roman legions, marching across Europe 2,000 years ago. The Roman soldiers, the most efficient killing machine of the ancient world, did not march without protection. They walked thousands of miles, conquering nations, and their feet were their most valuable asset. When their feet were blistered, bruised, and bleeding from the march, they did not have synthetic insoles or antibiotic creams. They sought out the plantain leaf, placing it inside their sandals to soothe the inflammation and heal the broken skin. They knew that this plant loved the compacted soil of the road. It grew exactly where the soldiers walked. It was as if the earth was providing a remedy for the damage caused by the marching armies. But the knowledge goes deeper than just blisters. It goes back to the 9 sacred herbs of the Anglo-Saxons. In the ancient medical texts of early England, plantain was revered as the mother of herbs. They believed it had power over flying venom, which was their way of describing infections and airborne diseases. They did not spray it with poison, they harvested it with prayer, knowing it was the difference between life and death. So let me tell you what is actually inside this common driveway weed that makes it better than a pharmacy tube. The broadleaf plantain contains a chemical compound called Allantoin, a substance that stimulates cell proliferation. This means it actually tells your body to grow new tissue faster, bridging the gap of a cut or a scrape. This is the same active ingredient found in comfrey, a famous healing herb, and in many high-end cosmetic creams. But in the plantain leaf, Allantoin is combined with Aucubin, a potent antimicrobial agent that kills bacteria on contact. When you apply this leaf to a wound, you are disinfecting it and accelerating the healing process simultaneously. But the most magical property of plantain is its ability to draw toxins out of the body. If you are stung by a bee, a wasp, or a spider, the venom sits under your skin, causing pain and swelling. The plantain leaf acts like a biological magnet, pulling the foreign substance out of the tissue and neutralizing the pain. It can draw out splinters, it can draw out glass, and it can draw out the pus from an infected boil. Modern medicine sells you 3 different tubes for these problems: an antibiotic, a pain reliever, and a drawing salve. Nature put all 3 functions into a single green leaf that withstands the weight of your car tires. So here is the question that exposes the insanity of the modern lawn care industry. If we have a plant that stops bleeding, kills bacteria, and draws out venom, why do we poison it? Why do we spend billions of dollars to eradicate a medicine that grows exactly where we need it most? The suppression of plantain is a result of the war on biodiversity that began with the invention of the suburbs. In the 1950s, the ideal of the American lawn was born, a monoculture of green grass, unbroken by any other life. Chemical companies needed a market for their herbicides, so they defined anything that wasn't grass as a weed. Plantain was the perfect enemy because it breaks the visual uniformity of the lawn with its broad, flat leaves. It is tough. It does not die easily. It resists mowing because it hugs the ground. So they developed stronger poisons, specifically targeting broadleaf plants, to sell to homeowners obsessed with perfection. We were taught to value the aesthetic of a green carpet over the utility of a living pharmacy. We were taught to fear the weed and trust the bottle with the skull and crossbones on the label. But in doing so, we poisoned the ground we walk on and destroyed the medicine that could heal us. We created a toxic environment to kill a detoxifying plant, a supreme irony of the modern age. But the "you cannot" list for plantain is what keeps the casual observer from understanding its power. You cannot just look at it. You have to touch it to identify the 7 veins that run parallel along the leaf. This is the botanical signature, the identification card that proves you have found the true times. Plantago major asterisk. You cannot harvest it from the side of a busy highway or a chemically treated golf course. Because plantain is a healer, it absorbs heavy metals and toxins from the soil to clean the earth. If you pick it from a polluted site, you are harvesting a sponge full of lead and exhaust fumes. You cannot rely on a dried, old leaf to work the magic of the drawing poultice. The magic is in the juice, the fresh enzymes and the moisture that are released when the leaf is broken. But the "you can" list is a manifesto of self-reliance for anyone who wants to take their health back. You can create the most effective first aid treatment in the world using nothing but your mouth and a leaf. This is the spit poultice, a survival skill that every human being should know by heart. When you or your child gets stung by a bee, you grab a fresh plantain leaf from the ground. You put it in your mouth and you chew it. You crush the cell walls with your teeth. You mix the plant juices with your own saliva, which contains enzymes that activate the healing compounds. You take the green mash out of your mouth and slap it directly onto the sting or the bite. Within seconds, the burning pain will vanish as the plant begins to draw the venom out. It is visceral, it is primal, and it works better than any cream you can buy at the drugstore. You can watch the redness recede, you can feel the heat dissipate, and you can see the power of nature. You can dry the leaves and infuse them into olive oil to make a green salve that lasts for years. This balm is the ultimate cure for diaper rash, eczema, poison ivy, and dry, cracked skin. You are making a high-grade pharmaceutical product in your kitchen for the cost of a cup of olive oil. The empowerment of the plantain comes from the realization that the earth is constantly trying to heal you. The plant grows in the cracks of the sidewalk because that is where the soil is wounded and compacted. It grows in the trampled paths because that is where the earth needs protection from erosion. And it grows in your yard because that is where you live, where you get hurt, and where you need help. So here is what you do. You stop looking at the rosette of leaves as a blemish on your lawn. You put away the sprayer, you put away the weed whacker, and you let the medicine grow. You identify a patch of plantain in a clean area of your yard, away from the road and the dog run. You let it go to seed, watching the long, rat-tail spikes rise up from the center of the plant. You harvest the young leaves in the spring and add them to your salads. They are essentially wild spinach. They are packed with calcium and vitamin K, feeding your bones while they prepare to heal your skin. You harvest the seeds in the autumn. They are a cousin to psyllium husk, a powerful fiber for your gut. You reclaim the name that the chemical companies tried to turn into a slur. You do not call it a weed. You call it the Band-Aid plant. You call it the white man's footstep. You call it the soldier's herb. Every person who makes a spit poultice for a crying child is breaking the cycle of dependence on the pharmacy. Every person who infuses a jar of plantain oil is taking control of their own first aid preparedness. The plant they told you was ugly. The plant they told you to poison. The plant that grows back every time you step on it, refusing to abandon you. Ancient people knew it was the mother of herbs, the guardian of the traveler. The modern lawn care industry definitely knows it is a threat to their business model. Now you know it is the most reliable physician you will ever meet, and it works for free. Broadleaf Plantain is still here, pushing up through the asphalt, waiting for you to notice it. It is the medicine under your feet, the pharmacy in the driveway, and the healer in the cracks. It can stop the bleeding, it can stop the pain, and it can prove that you are never truly alone in the wild. If this opened something for you, subscribe, because every share helps preserve the forbidden knowledge of the garden. Let's go deeper into the twist of the seed, because plantain is not just a bandage, it is a gut healer. We are living in an epidemic of digestive issues, from leaky gut to irritable bowel syndrome. We spend millions on fiber supplements, probiotics, and expensive gut healing protocols. But the seed of the Plantago major is a close relative of Thyme's Plantago ovata *, the plant used to make commercial psyllium. When you eat the seeds of the common plantain, they swell up in your digestive tract, creating a soothing mucilage. This gel acts like a gentle broom, sweeping toxins out of your gut while healing the lining of the intestines. It is the same Allantoin effect that heals your skin, but applied to the internal wounds of your digestion. The plant that heals the outside of your body also heals the inside, creating a complete circle of health. You can harvest the seed spikes in late summer, strip the tiny seeds into a bag, and sprinkle them on your food. You are eating a wild superfood that costs $40 a bottle at the health food store. But there is a spiritual lesson in the plantain that goes beyond the chemistry and the biology. It is the lesson of resilience in the face of being trodden upon. This plant does not grow in the soft, easy places. It seeks out the hardest, most compacted ground. It sends its roots down into the concrete-like soil and breaks it up, creating channels for air and water. It heals the soil by growing in the place where the trauma happened. And then it offers its leaves to heal the people who caused the trauma in the first place. It is a plant of forgiveness, a plant of service, and a plant of unconditional utility. When you use plantain, you are tapping into an energy that says, "I will bloom where I am planted, and I will heal where I am hurt." This is the philosophy of the survivor, the mindset of the prepper, and the heart of the healer. So the next time you see that flat, green rosette defying the concrete, do not see a weed. See a mirror. See a teacher that shows you how to turn pressure into power and pain into medicine. The plantain is the ultimate companion for the human journey, following our footsteps to fix our mistakes. It has been with us since the Stone Age, through the Roman Empire, and into the suburban sprawl. It has survived our wars, our poisons, and our ignorance. And it is still offering its leaf to anyone smart enough to bend down and pick it up. The cure is not in the store. The cure is in the driveway. Stop spraying. Start chewing. And let the healing begin. Nature has provided the remedy. All you have to provide is the respect,